Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. My name's Hayley Marie and today I'm going to walk you through sketching and painting a fun, spooky, Halloween themed watercolour. This one's a slightly longer tutorial, so grab yourself a warm drink and let's get started. Last year I did Halloween themed pages in my sketchbook, so I thought I would do a tutorial with a similar design on some A4 mixed media paper. You'll also need a pencil and a rubber in case you need to make any adjustments. I'll be using the Canson mixed media paper. You can also use watercolour paper too. As I sketch, you can see the finished piece in the top left corner to make it easier for you to follow. Starting with our ghost, draw a round edge for the head going down to a skirt shape, then draw some stars and a crescent moon. There are some sketched pieces which I ended up changing, like the candles here. I didn't include them, but feel free to draw in whichever you prefer, or you can incorporate your own design and style. In the top left, I'll be drawing in where the bat is. And we want to make this look like it's flying through the sky, so the wings will be out and open. And also I will be adding a cute little smiley face. Now for the pumpkin, let's draw some segments and then the stem, making it a fun spiral shape. And of course add the scary pumpkin face as it is Halloween. Onto our spider now, draw an oval for the body, then some back legs, centre legs, and finally the front legs. And then a circle for the head. I think it will look pretty good to add a spider web next to the spider. So let's do that. Also some candles next to our pumpkin. For the witch's hat, draw the top point and let's make this one a curved shape. And then the base of the hat with the ribbon going across. At the bottom of our page, we can draw in our graveyard with some gravestones. And then lastly, our witch's broom leaning on the right bottom corner. Remember that our sketch can change as we paint, so just have some fun with it and go with what you feel looks better. If you prefer to miss out the sketching part and get straight to painting, then this outline for the tutorial can be found on my Etsy. Okay, now we are ready to begin painting. I'm going to be using the Decadent Pies art palette by Art Philosophy, and then a bright yellow, purple, brown and black for my Winsor & Newton palette. I will have a size 4 and a size 0 paintbrush. As well as watercolours, I will be using my black fine line pen, gold paint and a white jelly roll pen or gouache. This is your own creation, so feel free to use whichever colours or materials that you like. Now let's get painting. You will see in the top corner of the tutorial a finished photo for reference as you paint along. We will start with the base layer of each separate illustration, starting with the bat. Paint the outline all in black. Then for our ghost, use a very watered down black to paint a faint outline around the ghost. Make sure not to have too much black watercolour so that the ghost appears as if it's white on the page. With the orange, let's paint a simple base layer for our pumpkin, painting each segment separately. And then a brown for the stem. I decided last minute to add in a little frog, so I'll paint him in green. Now that the ghost has dried, I can now add the deep blue background. Waiting for different areas to dry whilst you're going through the painting process ensures the colours not to bleed into one another. Meaning in this case that we can paint the blue right up to the edge of where the ghost has previously been painted. If you have seen my previous tutorial on negative painting, you will see that the technique is being used here to create the crescent moon shape. Negative painting is when you can paint onto your page and create shapes where unpainted areas or lighter painted areas are. The crescent moon and the ghost are great examples of this. Right, onto our spider. Just simply paint in the black. For its body, head, fangs and legs, trying to be neat as possible when drawing the thin spider legs. And whilst we have the black on our brush, let's also add the ghost eyes. Grab your purple now for the witch's hat. Then use some more watered down black to make a light grey and paint the gravestones, allow all of that area to dry, and then go in with the green paint for the grass. Painting around each gravestone, I'm painting quite loosely here and not overthinking how the paint is being applied to the paper. I think sometimes with watercolours you can almost be a little messy to create a nice textured background. With the light grey, now paint your spiderweb. Lastly, use your brown and yellow to paint the witch's broom. Like we did above with our ghost illustration, use a deep and bright blue mix to loosely paint in the night sky. As you get closer to the edge, toward the other illustrations, let's blend it out with some water so it has a slight gradient effect. All the base layers are now finished, so it's time to add the next detail. I'm grabbing my size 0 brush so that I can paint easily on the delicate areas. Outline the bat features and dragging down the black show blended details. We will be coming back to our bat once this layer has dried. So with the black, I'm also going to paint darker eyes on the ghost, and then with the grey tones we previously made, I'm going to add some fold lines on the ghost body and a little shadow on the bottom edge and around the back. Now back to our pumpkin. Paint some shadowed sections and then it's time to add some texture. Using our deep orange, paint in some lines across each pumpkin segment. Then finally add some spiraled lines to our stem with a deep brown and yellow for our candles. Now for our witch's hat, let's add more colour and paint in the ribbon. I'm painting the ribbon with a brown and then adding more purple to the hat at the point and the base, making it a deeper colour, and also at the back of the hat and under the point for shadow. Onto our gravestones. Add some dimension by painting a dark grey for the edges of the gravestones, also adding an outline and squiggles as you go. With the brown, paint some mud under each grave, and then with your green add some little lines bunched together in sections for the grass detail. Also with our dark brown, let's add some more brush bristles, a bit of rope to put in the bristles together, and then finally some shadow on the broom handle. Once all that below section has dried, we can go back to our spider. I'm using the black to outline the body and legs to make it really stand out. Then adding a blended detail on the body to create some interest. For the witch's hat, I'm painting an outline and more shadow on the back area and also across the hat ribbon. Revisiting the bat, I'm going to paint in any last details and then its little smiley face. Same for the frog, I'm going to paint some eyes, a mouth, and then outlining his body, legs and feet. Now to paint the pumpkin face, painting in the triangular eyes and then the zigzag mouth. With the gravestones, I would like to outline them in black. You can either use your black watercolour and paint in the outlines, or if you have a black fineline pen or any kind of black pen, then you could also use that to outline different areas. When stepping back from the painting, I did realise that there wasn't many areas with a lot of colour, so I am going to add some candy corn, which will bring in some more orange and yellows. You may have noticed that you can see the spiderweb through the painted candy corn, so that's where I will be using my gouache As the gouache is opaque, so when mixing a little bit of the watercolour, it will make the top layer a block solid colour, so you can no longer see the spiderweb underneath. I'm going to grab my gold paint to paint lots of stars in the sky. You could also use a gold gel pen or any other gold pen, or even a silver pen for this part. It's completely up to you and what you have available at home. I'm really going to fill the sky up with lots and lots of stars because I think it looks really whimsical. Now that the candy corn is dry, I'm going to go back to paint the final layer. I'm going to start with a slight outline around each little section. And then I will grab my gouache and paint the white section of the candy corn, and then also add a little bit to the colours so that I can then create that solid layer. Once that's finished, I'm actually going to add a tiny baby little spider onto the web too. This being a much simpler shape, so just literally a round oval with some little tiny legs coming out. Just adding some more gold stars in different sizes and shapes above the bat. And painting those little flames on the candles with the pumpkin. I thought it would be fun to draw in some swirly shapes and more stars above the ghost. Again, whatever you feel would look nice is fine too. And also going to add a couple of dots in there. Just drawing all of these in at random, different sizes. And again with my stars, I'm going to follow the exact ones which are in the night sky below us. And then, yeah, just randomly place those in until I think it looks good, and then I will move on to the next bit. With the black fineliner, I'm going to draw in the webs. Having the watercolour paint and the pen used in the same area creates a lot of different textures on this page. With the white gel pen, let's add some fun highlighted areas to the bat. I've noticed a gap above the pumpkins, so I have added a spider web. I think it's fun just to experiment and not follow any rules when painting a page like this. It means you can just focus on having fun, learning what looks good to you, and also practice on the use of different materials. Then to finish our pumpkin off, I'm painting a brown base as a table with some shadows formed from the candles and pumpkin. And then some yellow from the candlelight glow. I'm going to outline the candles with our fine line pen and also the spider web as we've previously done on the page below. And also the crescent moon. I'm actually going to grab my white gel pen to add some highlights to the spider and the eyes. I didn't like the little gap where the frog was, so again adding another spider web here, but making it really small. Grabbing our light grey, I'm going to paint the cobweb here too. Whilst that dries, I'm going to look over the painting to see if there are any more fun elements I want to add. I think some swirls in black fine line pen around the witch's hat will look really good. And finally, the last black outline detail of the tiny web, and we are finished. I really hope that you had so much fun painting this spooky Halloween watercolour painting. If you did like this video, please hit like and subscribe, and also hit the bell so that you can get notifications on our next tutorial together. Until next time, happy painting!